Good morning, friends, students, and all interested in English. This is Professor Dr. Deepika Srivastav from the English department. Today's topic is interesting and is meant primarily for youngsters. It is Chetan Bhagat, an engineer transformed to a popular novelist. Many will not consider him a literary figure, but literary masterpieces do not require literary geniuses to reveal their greatness. Bhagat's admiring readers the world over rate him the most popular Indian author, crowning him with stupendous success. Born in 1974, an author and columnist, he has the distinction of being included in Time magazine's list of the world's most influential people in 2010. The New York Times has called him the biggest selling English language novelist in India's history. Besides contributing articles in English and Hindi newspapers, his oratory skills are unparalleled. He is a product of Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, from where he did his BTech, then did his MBA from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. It is here he met his future wife, Anusha, and fell for her. He started his career as an investment banker but gave it up shortly to pursue his passion for writing. He also is a screenplay writer. Bhagat is the author of 9 blockbuster novels and 3 non-fiction books. Needless to say, all his novels are bestsellers and big hits. His genre is romance, realistic fiction, and non-fiction. His notable works are 5 Point Someone, published in 2004, One Night at the Call Center, published in 2005, The Three Mistakes of My Life, published in 2008, Two States, published in 2009, Revolution 2020, published in 2011, Half Girlfriend, published in 2014, One Indian Girl, published in 2016, The Girl in Room 105, published in 2018, and One Arranged Murder, published in 2020. His non-fiction works are What Young India Wants, published in 2012, Making India Awesome, published in 2015, and India Positive New Essays, published in 2019. The striking feature about titles of his novels is all have a numeral, while the striking aspect of his non-fiction work is all include India in the titles. Bhagat is a role model for India's young generation. This is owing to his vast popularity with the reading public, most of them in their 20s and 30s, because he deals humorously with ordinary middle class life having Indian characters, Indian ambience, and Indian sentiments. Issues, desires, hopes, and ambitions of teenagers, including romances, sex, marriages, women liberation, and modern culture, are deeply probed. His writing style is easy to comprehend. His plot rotates around the youth, achievements, success, disappointments, and failures are major themes. His astonishing talent is to merge myriad problems faced by the youth in his plots. He may not have the literary skills of Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, or even Anita Desai, but he shows authentic concern for each and every youth of the country. This is the sole reason of him reigning over hearts of millions. Very few authors have managed to reach out to so many Indians. His young protagonists are craving to establish themselves in a cutthroat competitive environment. As the world glances at them as good for nothings, they strive and succeed in leaving an indelible impression on people they interact with. Hence, they clearly are characters in search of an identity in a chaotic world. From triviality, from commonplace, from falling from grace, they acquire confidence to achieve meaning, and their attitude to life gets altered towards the end of the novel. So, IIT scholars proved one more point. In addition to being cerebral or earners of hefty salaries, they have it in them to be popular authors too. Bhagat's first book, 5 Point Someone, is engaging, dark, and funny. Based at IIT campus Delhi, it is an engrossing tale of three bright, brainy youngsters, namely Hari Kumar, Ryan Oberoi, and Alok Gupta. This book sold more than 1 million copies worldwide. The Hindi movie Three Idiots is based on 5 Point Someone. The three mates join one of the most sought after institutions with dreams of a brilliant career. But slowly they fail to harmonize with the work culture of an IIT. Subsequently, they become notorious as five pointers thanks to their low 5-point GPA. Gradually, it dawns upon them that they are not as bright as they had imagined to be. Meanwhile, Hari Kumar falls in love with Neha, the daughter of all the person, the HOD Professor Sheran. Alok Gupta, for trivial reasons, is cut off from the group but later rejoins. Ryan celebrates his re-induction with a party where he devised a plan, cooperate to dominate. Ryan says, I open the inverted commas, by living on our own terms, by being rats, not mice, work together to beat the system. I will not give up my friends for this system. In fact, my friendship will beat this system. Close the quotation. The trio manages to maintain their 5-point GPA with twists and turns. One cannot be sure whether student life is for enjoyment of freedom or labor for academics. It is also a moot point whether enjoyment in student life is related simply to smoking and having alcohol. Hari's liaison with Neha is puzzling. Does a female of the new generation who is brought up by a strict father indulge in premarital sex? Anyway, only Hari and Neha have sex, the other two pals have nothing to do with it. Bhagat's use of words like insti, prof, mugging, fatso shows the proclivity of IITians for using tabooed vocabulary. One of Bhagat's triumphs is his refusal to glorify IITians. The protagonists are not defined but simply impenitents. They recognize no authority. 5 Point Someone stands out because characters are genuine, incidents oscillate between the real and the absurd. It bridges the gap between academic achievers and ordinary students. Hence, what not to do at IIT, the subtitle is quite appropriate. In his second novel, One Night at the Call Center, the story revolves around six call center employees working at Gurgaon, namely Shyam, Isha, Varun, Priyanka, and Radhika. The novel created a major furore, dispelling all reservations critics might have nurtured about the author's aesthetic prowess. The book recreates the turbulent lifestyle of adolescents in a call center, presenting the stark truism of a materialistic world that everything comes with a price tag. Call centers offering big salaries to employees encourage double dealings. The novel portrays the struggles of six Delhi based youngsters of a call center and the one special night that metamorphosed their existence. The narrator, Shyam Mehra, adopts the American name Sam Mercy to impress clients. He is assisted by an ambitious team and an aged military uncle. When the world sleeps, the dynamic group works. Shyam has an odious boss, Mr. Bakshi, who exploits the group. Shyam pines for his ex-girlfriend Priyanka and is considered a loser as he cannot oppose his boss. He, with his friend Varun, popularly called Vroom, designed a website. But his boss takes the credit, which is their due. As a reward, the boss gets a posting to Boston. Another employee, Isha, called Eliza Singer, is a model aspirant. Varun is aware that his potential is being wasted but continues as his salary enables him to acquire luxuries. Priyanka is leading a missionless life. Radhika, the sole married woman, has to dance to the tunes of her in laws. Suddenly, calls are disconnected and the group interacts. Perplexed, the gang visits a club. As they return, they are trapped in a pit. Here they get a call from God that changes their lives. They are reminded to listen to their inner self. They then accept, then running after material comforts is futile. On returning to the call center, they carry out their plans with dexterity. Continuing his brilliant streak, Bhagat wrote The Three Mistakes of My Life, which is a witty novel exploring Ahmedabadi lifestyle revolving around three friends who are poles apart: Govind, Patel, Ishan, and Omi. The movie version is Kai Pochi, as the novel and the book are based in Gujarat, hence this title. Govind aspires to be a big businessman. Ishan is crazy about cricket, while Omi is the least ambitious. They open a cricket shop, and the ensuing events form the complex plot. They face hardships like earthquakes, riots, love, and above all, their mistakes. Dreams they had nurtured shattered. Middle class values, traditional households, and vegetarian eateries pervade the novel. No great creation is achieved without an intense love angle. This is taken care by Govind and Vidya, Ishan's sister. The couple gets involved in a sexual relationship which is considered blasphemous by Ishan. All ties are snapped between Govind and Ishan. Another twist is added by introducing Ali, a miracle kid, who is an expert in hitting sixes. Ishan groups the Muslim boy by coaching him. The friends go out of the way to protect him during communal riot. A split-second delay by Govind in making a specific move which could have saved Ali is termed mistake number 3. The other two mistakes are Govind's investment in a shop and his passionate entanglement with Vidya. Umi dies, saving Ali. Barring this and the riots, the story ends happily. This analysis clearly reveals that Bhagat amusingly deals with the problems faced by the youth of Gen X. The next novel, his fourth, is Two States, commonly referred to as the story of my marriage. It is a simple, flawless story about a couple belonging to two different states and the endless problems they face in convincing their parents to approve their marriage. This is an autobiographical novel, only the names of the hero and heroine are altered. Bhagat wrote it after leaving his job as a banker. The novel is about a couple, Krish and Ananya, who hail from Punjab and Tamil Nadu respectively, are in love and want to marry. The story centers at IIM Ahmedabad, where the boy and girl are pursuing their graduation, fall in love with each other, and after passing out, get lucrative jobs. Now comes the difficult task of convincing the parents. The main issue is about cultural contradictions based on Bhagat's personal experiences. He too faced the same problems, and so he is writing about them in this novel. Somehow the boy and the girl convince their families and plan a trip to Goa for the parents to get an opportunity to know each other. Unfortunately, problems again erupt and the two families cannot see eye to eye. Frustrated, Krish returns and plunges into his work. Meanwhile, another issue is focused on this is Krish's sour relationship with his father. Ultimately, it is his father who succeeds in his efforts for bringing the two families together. They reconcile and the couple get married. They are blessed by twin boys. Chetan emphasizes that the children belong to a state called India, abolishing all cultural inequality. Incidentally, the novel was made into a film in 2014 with Arjun Kapoor and Alia Bhatt in lead roles. I will now briefly discuss Revolution 2020, a gripping novel based in the heartlet of India, Varanasi, a holy city also known as Banaras or Kashi. The plot revolves around two childhood friends, Gopal and Raghav. Both are equally sharp and intelligent. They struggle for success, the only difference being one relies on his intelligence to make money while the other uses intelligence to create a revolution. Gopal, in his desperation, surrenders to the corrupt system while Raghav opposes it with all his might. It also exposes how private coaching institutes, which have mushroomed, exploit engineering aspirants. It reveals financial hardships parents of these aspirants face, funding for exorbitant fee for the classes of the wards in the hope they will get lucrative jobs in the engineering services. While some achieve their goals, many fail to make the grade. Gopal is one such person who gets a low ranking, though he nurtured high hopes of getting rich. Raghav, on the other hand, is among the top successful candidates. The novel has a love triangle also. Both guys fall for the same girl, Aarti, but she prefers the achiever Raghav, who gradually turns into a celebrity. Surprisingly, she chats with Gopal too. Sadly, he fails to improve his ranking. Raghav becomes a journalist. Gopal opts to build an engineering college in partnership with a politician and becomes a part of the corrupt system. Raghav floats his newspaper Revolution 2020. Unfortunately, he has to shut it down. Aarti and Gopal continue their fling, but Gopal later realizes the futility of his love. He resolves to bring Aarti and Raghav together. Gopal ultimately becomes a successful businessman, but has sacrificed his love to bring about a revolution. Bhagat stated that the book is based on rampant corruption apparent in the Indian educational system, with the choice of Varanasi as a setting emerging through, I open his quote, a special connection to the city. It is one of our oldest cities, and people there now have modern aspirations. I thought the contrast would be interesting. The city also has a lot of character. I close Bhagat's quote. Now we move on to Bhagat's sixth novel, Half Girl Friend. The title must have a numeral even if it is half. The book is based on a uniquely Indian phenomena where boys and girls are confused about their relationship status. The guy presumes he is more than a friend with the girl, but the girl is still not his girlfriend. I opened Bhagat's quote, hence I thought we needed a term like half girlfriend. That is what most men get. I close his quote. The story is centered on Madhav Jha from a village in Bihar who falls in love with an affluent girl, Riya Somani. Both are students in the prestigious St. Stephen's College, Delhi. Madhav is desperate to make her his girlfriend, but she is absolutely unwilling. Riya, after marrying her childhood friend Rohan, goes to London. Madhav returns to his hometown and runs a school. He seeks funds for the school from, of all the people, Bill Gates, who is visiting Bihar. He meets Riya, now a divorcee, who helps in preparing a speech for Gates. But again she vanishes. Mother visits New York looking for her and, wonders of wonders, finds her there. The two reunite, return to Bihar, and run their school successfully. Dedicated to non English types, the book divulges sentiments and struggles of Hindi speaking boys, stressing that youngsters should not quit. Where there's a will, there's a way. A movie of the same name was made on this novel. Bhagat's seventh novel, One Indian Girl, is focused on an intelligent and successful Indian girl who finds it impossible to get a suitable partner. Bhagat attempts to look at things from a woman's perspective. He describes an atypical Indian girl, Radhika Mehta, working at Goldman Sachs, a reputed bank. She has decided to marry Brijesh Gulati, who works in San Francisco. Meanwhile, she meets Debashish or Debu in Goa, who intervenes in her wedding, with whom she had a live-in relationship a few years ago. Then she moves to Hong Kong and enters into another live-in relationship with an old married man with kids. She breaks up with him, realizing the futility of the affair, and moves to London. Here she connects with Brijesh. Both her ex live-in partners turn up on her wedding day. She cancels her wedding and takes a sabbatical to travel. While en route to San Francisco, she contacts Brijesh. They both go on outings and are ultimately reunited. This briefly is the story, but I wonder if successful Indian girls behave like her. She cannot be called a girl as she is an independent woman who narrates her life's happenings. The only sensible thing she asked women is to make their choice whether they should pursue a career or give it up for matrimony. Her lovers did not feel comfortable as she was more successful. She had to leave India and the sharp eye of the conservative society to lead her life. Anyway, the novel falls short of making an impact as the author's claims on feminism and equal rights for women are hollow. Feminism gives women gender equality but certainly does not imply having sex with multiple partners for the sake of being liberated. An educated woman who is financially independent can very well think what is good for her, but getting into a sexual relationship with an old married man with kids can never be encouraged, and that is why Bhagat failed on this score. Maybe he writes to lure Bollywood directors catering to trends prevalent there. Such affairs are common among heroes and heroines. Anyway, Chetan's heroine understood her mistake and moved on in life, unlike Bollywood heroines who opted to settle down with older married men with grown up kids, like Hema Malini, late Sri Devi, Kareena Kapoor, Shabana Azmi, and so many more. The latest novel of Bhagat is The Girl in Room 105, his eighth novel and the 10th book overall. This bestseller novel tells about an IIT coaching teacher who visits his ex-girlfriend on her birthday but finds her murdered. It is a mystery, a thriller, suspense, romance, making it different from his other fiction. The remaining story is his untiring effort to find the culprit, and while doing so, it exposes the political issues of the nation. Bhagat uses the ploy of the narrator telling his story to the author. Keshav is a tutor in a JEE coaching center but fails to get a good job. He falls in love with a Kashmiri Muslim girl, Zara, who is pursuing her PhD in an IIT. Owing to different religions, the love affair ends, though Keshav cannot forget Zara. He then has an affair with Raghu, who is Keshav's classmate. Saurabh, another friend, persuades Keshav to focus on his future. On Zara's birthday, Keshav gets messages from his ex-lady love to meet her. He goes but finds her murdered. He informs Saurabh, who suggests he runs from there. But Keshav informs the police, Raghu and Zara's family. Keshav is bent upon finding the culprit and for giving justice to the late Zara. He thinks the murderer is Zara's stepbrother, Sikandar, who is a member of the Kashmiri terrorist group Tehreek. No matter how much Sikandar denies the allegation, Keshav is not convinced. Keshav, however, realizes he made a mistake when the following day Sikandar commits suicide. He then believes an army officer made Zara pregnant and then murdered her. But suddenly it dawns on him that Raghu killed her. It was Raghu who had sent messages to him on Zara's birthday when she was already dead. The novel ends with Raghu's arrest, Keshav visiting Zara's grave, and Keshav and Saurabh collaborating to run a detective agency. This is the first time Bhagat has ventured writing a crime thriller, though it is nowhere near Agatha Christie. The plot is not gripping enough and it initially reminds of half girlfriend. The love Keshav has for Zara and the friendship Keshav and Saurabh maintain impress the readers. The writing style is amateurish, so are the dialogues and narrative skill. The ending is predictable. We now come to the sequel to Bhagat's The Girl in Room 105, the title being One Arranged Murder, his ninth novel and the 12th book overall, which is again a mystery thriller. Keshav and Saurabh have set up an investigation agency, and Saurabh and Prerna are set to marry soon. It is an arranged match. Prerna, a young professional, falls from the terrace of her house. It seems unlikely to be a suicide. Her family members emerge as leading suspects. Saurabh and Keshav conduct an investigation. The girl's family is a middle class household and a mixture of socio-economic strata. Therefore, the novel is a social commentary in the garb of a thriller. Bhagat uses the death of the girl as a ploy to exhibit anxieties of decay, downfall, and confusion. Prerna's suicide, in fact, was a murder. Her twin sister Anjali killed her. Chetan's crime thriller is basically a love story, but it appears he is endeavoring to change his original genre by examining scope in thrillers and suspense. Thus, this novel is a gripping murder mystery which may or may not appeal to the reader. After a concise survey of Bhagat's novel, I assume his popularity rests on his grasp of the Indian scenario which made him conquer the hearts of millions not only in India but abroad. His lack of literary finesse is his appeal. Chetan admits, I opened his quote, I am not a good writer, but I am a very good storyteller. Close the quote. His flamboyant characters appeal to the youth who start identifying with them. To be a successful writer, one may not have the greatness of Jane Austen, Hemingway, or Dickens, but one does require the knack of capturing the attention of the reader's mind, which Bhagat has in plenty. He, however, has limited command on vocabulary and grammar, and his novels are far from perfect. He cannot be termed a critically acclaimed writer, but is nonetheless winner of commercial success. He regularly features in New York Times bestsellers. The noticeable feature of his novel is its hilarious style. His language is easy to decipher. He is gifted with the ability to be the people's voice. Bhagat combines aesthetic sensibility with contemporary issues, hence his stories are more relatable. He writes about regular people, mostly losers. His readers need not be intellectuals. Anyone having an average understanding of English can comprehend the content and substance of his novels. Apart from that, he caters to Bollywood style of writing novels. Little wonder that many of his novels have been adapted into films, especially the ones that have emotional or entertaining storyline. His major flaw is his handling of feminist issues. It reaches hypocritical levels in One Indian Girl and Half Girlfriend. Thus, his novels are nowhere near classics from accomplished novelists. To be fair to Bhagat, let us recollect that he was trained to be an engineer. He was not educated at Oxford or Cambridge like many illustrious writers, but at IIT and later at IIM. He switched over to writing, leaving his career as a banker, and became a sensation. there are several other engineers turned into writers. Terry Fallis, a trained engineer, became a best-selling writer. Dostoevsky, an engineer, became one of the most famous writers of Russia. The master of suspense, Sir Alfred Hitchcock, was an engineer too. I will also mention Indian engineers who have ventured in the realm of writing. The first name is Dr. APJ Kalam, India's most revered president, who was a scientist apart from being a prolific writer. Durjoy Datta, another engineer, is a novelist and a screenwriter. Sudha Murthy, one of India's favorite writers, is a product of Indian Institute of Science. Engineers are talented, hardworking, and multifaceted people. They are successful in the civil services and can be successful writers too. Chetan Bhagat's biggest achievement is that he inspired the Indian youth to turn to reading. So, love him or hate him, we have to accept that he deserves to be rated as a high-ranking novelist. I conclude my lecture by quoting William Shakespeare's lines from Twelfth Night. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. This aptly sums up the greatness of Chetan Bhagat. As exams are round the corner and Basant Panchami will be celebrated next week, let us invoke the blessings of Saraswati Ji, the goddess of learning. Also, Chetan Bhagat, a youth icon and whose novels are loved by the youth, will be celebrating Happy Valentine's Day, I presume. So I also wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. I sincerely hope my lecture will prove beneficial to you all. Thanks for listening. Good day.